106.5 FM and online. It's the After 5 Guest with Wyn Thomas.
And I'm absolutely delighted to my guest is with me this afternoon. That is Delyth Jenkins. Delyth, nice to meet you again.
Hello, yes, nice to meet you again, Wyn, as well. Yeah.
Two things this afternoon. One's just to talk about your book,
yes,
which is Telyn, walking the Pembrokeshire Coast with your harp.
That would
and also
be
to play some songs on the harp for us as well.
Can I just correct you, Wyn? The proper title is That Would Be Telyn.
I do apologise. Yeah, of course it is. Yeah, That Would Be Telyn. Yes, I do apologise. Yeah,
yes, then you get the joke.
Yeah. Okay. Where did the idea come from?
Well, I like walking, I like the Pembrokeshire Coast, I like playing the harp. That's the simple answer why I thought about doing it. But I suppose also I wanted to push the boundaries a bit. So like where music can be heard, lots of people maybe wouldn't normally go to a concert, maybe never have heard Welsh traditional music. So it's sort of pushing the boundaries of people. I walked the path for your listeners. I should perhaps explain. I walked the Pembrokeshire Coast Path, 186 miles, carrying a small harp with me, with the intention of giving a series of impromptu pathside concerts. So, which is what I did, and I think it was just like extending the boundaries of where you'd hear music normally and introducing it to people who wouldn't normally listen to it.
I must explain it. You can't see this, listeners, but in the studio it's the Celtic harp, which is much bigger than the one you carried, isn't it?
Yeah, it is bigger. Yeah, the one I carried with me, I could carry that on my back, and I used to have a small rucksack on my front.
So is it heavy, that harp, then?
No, harps aren't heavy. They're just a bit awkward, really. That's the same for most harps, really, apart from the pedal harps, which are heavy, because that's all of the ironmongery that's in them.
And these impromptu performances took place in many places then, didn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it was just wherever and whenever I came across walkers. Some days I wouldn't play that much, other days I'd play quite a lot. Sometimes I'd pre-arranged to be at a certain place. So I played at a place called the Blue Lagoon, which is a beautiful drowned slate quarry. So I pre-arranged to play there. So people came specifically and could swim whilst I played the harp on the side. And I played at St. Govan's Chapel, that little chapel that's down in a cranny in the cliffs. So, but mostly it was just totally by chance. If I came across people on the path, get talking like you do to walkers, and they'd say, well, that's a funny shaped sort of case you've got. And so well, it's a harp, and would you like to hear some music? So it just happened like that. It was just completely by chance.
So you started this in Dogwells, didn't it? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Were you nervous then on that first day?
Well, yes, because I was nervous and excited. I was nervous because my career is in music, and you get used to nerves before a concert or something, and you know it's all a familiar territory, you know what it is. But with this, I didn't know anybody else who'd done anything like this before, so it was a completely new experience for me. So I wasn't sure on the physical aspects, I wasn't sure if I would be able to make it physically, but also I had no idea what people's reactions would be. They might just think I was a complete nutter.
It took some planning, though, didn't you? Because you had to stay at certain B&Bs and things like that, and actually perform at certain places as well, didn't you? It took a lot of planning.
Yes, I mean, there was a lot of planning went into it. So I knew each day where I was going to walk from and to, and I'd got a B&B booked at the other end. That involved planning. And then also in the evenings, I did a little thing which I called playing for my supper. So when I arrived, as if walking about sort of 12 to 15 miles a day wasn't enough, I'd sort of go, perhaps if there was a local pub or restaurant, I'd go there and they would feed and water me, hopefully, and and I'd play then for the guests there.
There's a lovely part in the book where you actually played Happy Birthday to a couple of people, didn't you?
Yes, yeah. It was, that was a strange day, actually, because I'd arranged to play at a lovely, lovely hotel called the Druidston Hotel. And very sadly, when I got there, I realised that the person who ran the hotel, she'd recently died.
Oh, dear.
And I knew her very well. And whilst I was there, somebody said, will you play Happy Birthday? And it just didn't seem right because her family were all there grieving. Then I walked on and met this birthday boy further down the path. And so then when I was out of earshot of the hotel, I didn't want to play happy music when the family were grieving for somebody they'd lost. But when I was out of earshot of the hotel, so I played Happy Birthday for him, and he was absolutely delighted, to have Happy Birthday.
Before we hear from you on the harp, just one more story. Is that you met a lot of people, didn't you? So what is there one that sort of sticks in your mind? Is it that one that sticks in your mind with the birthday boy?
Oh my gosh. I met all sorts of interesting people. I think probably one that sticks in my mind most was a chap I met when I was basically stuck in a valley without a phone signal, and I had no way of getting back to the B&B that I was staying, because I was going back because I was in Melyn Trigwynt Mill, and I thought I was going to... I'd walked from Fishguard that day along the path, and I thought I was going to have to walk back. I was too late for the taxi and it had gone. But then I saw a man with a dog, and so to cut a very long story short, which people will have to read the book, but I ended up doing a 10-minute concert in the ballroom at Trigwynt Mansion.
Marvellous. Absolutely
and it was this chap who'd sort of, like, he said, you can use our phone and everything. So I didn't realise that he was staying at Trigwynt Mansion. so I think that's one that sort of sticks out quite a bit. But there was a whole load of people I met.
And that one's in the book, as
Dylan
said.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, Dad. So you got the harp with you. Can we have a song plus connected to the book?
Yes. I mean, I'll play just the melody of a well-known, traditional Welsh love song called Ar Lan y Môr by the seaside, which I played a lot along the path. So it's very pertinent to the book. So
okay, when you're ready.
Yeah.
Lovely indeed, yes. It's got that feel about the harp, isn't it? This is the old... Now, in the book, as well as sort of the tales of you walking the path, the Pembrokeshire Path, it's also got some bits of autobiography in it as well, isn't it? Where you say you were born in Obviously,
yes,
and went to university in Swansea and never went back, really, did you?
Yes, yeah. I mean, so the book is structured around the 17 days of the walk, but as you walk, you think and you remember. So, as you say, I sort of recalled various things during the walk, and one was my sort of childhood. I was born and brought up in Oswestry, then moved to Shrewsbury, and eventually came to Swansea to university, and I'm still here, quite a few years on. Yeah.
And we've met many times over the years. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, indeed, yeah.
When was this?
Well, I did the walk in 2012.
Right.
So Nigel Jenkins, my former husband, he died in 2014. So he knew I was writing the book, and I talk about that in the book. But yes, I mean, so we were married for over 20 years and had our two lovely daughters together. And so there were lots of memories of going down to Pembrokeshire. We had a caravan in Little Haven, so we used to go down to Little Haven, and also memories of our time together, yes.
Indeed. So I see you lived the memories as well. 186 miles, 186 miles, then you had many memories and many encounters with people, didn't you?
Yes, yeah. I met people from all over the world, really. From people who were just out walking their dog, who lived locally, to people, because I did it in August, so there were quite a few holiday makers. So, I met a huge variety of people. And I think with walkers, it's people tend to sort of open out, and so I felt very moved by what people told me about their lives and some of them why they were there and what Wales meant to them and all sorts of things. So it was a very special time.
And one encounter where you went to find a certain Mr. Brunel, but he wasn't there.
Yes.
Tell us that story. What happened there?
Well, Brunel is very associated with the Great Western Railway and all that. And there's Neyland, which was the terminus of the railway. He's sort of there's what a friend of mine calls Brunel mania in Neyland, and there's a statue to him. So I was looking forward to seeing the statue. And when I got there, it had disappeared, and it was a sort of 8-foot bronze statue. So somebody had actually stolen it. I don't think they were Brunel fans. I think they were more after the bronze. And I think now it's been restored there. Because I think there was a cast made to make the statue. So although it had been stolen, they could do another one. So I think I'm right in saying that it's gone back there now. But yeah, there was just an empty plinth when I was there. Yeah.
I think I went through Neyland the other day, and I think it is. I think you're right. It is back. I'm sure.
Yeah.
Because obviously you obviously recount the story in the book where his plans was to bring the railways all the way into Neyland.
To Neyland and to Goodwick. Yeah. So there were big plans for transatlantic liners.
That's
then.
Right. Yeah.
So the trains would go to Fishguards and then to Goodwick near Fishguards, but it sort of never materialised. But there is a ferry to Ireland from Goodwick. But
it is, the Irish ferries, isn't it?
Yeah.
So the aftermath of the walk then was the writing of the book. It took you from 2012 to 2019. So it's a project that sort of kept going and kept going.
Well, yes.
But of course, obviously, you're working as well, aren't you, and playing as well.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, sort of originally, I never really intended to write a book.
Oh, right, okay.
But then one of the people I met on the path, and I talked quite at length to him, and he said, well, you should write a book about it. So that sort of sowed the seed of writing it. And I sort of started doing it, and it took a little while to gather momentum, really, because it's the first book I've written. So, I mean, I'm 64 nearly, so it's taken a few years to get into writing a book. So it took a while, and then, finding a publisher and getting, and all the stuff that's necessary to getting a book out, like getting
But there's some fabulous photos in here as well.
Well, the photos are taken, some of them by me, and also some of them by friends or people I met on the path who then, if they took pictures of me, that we exchanged details, and then they sent photos on to me. So a lot of the photos were of people I met on the path. Yeah.
So is there another walk in you?
Oh, well, there may well be. Yes, the adventures aren't over yet, but I haven't got anything definite planned. But yes, there's always something on the horizon. Yes.
And the debut book is, of course, this one, which is That Would Be Telyn. And then, of course, maybe another book as well. You never know, do you?
You never know. I've got the bug a bit for writing, so yeah, watch this space.
Well, thanks so much for coming along to see me. I know you've had a bit of trouble with traffic and things like that. But
Swansea traffic. Yes.
But if I could ask you just to play one more piece on the harp, that would be delightful. Thanks so much for being my After Five guest today.